Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, Season 2, Episode 17, Melinda. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me is a very happy family photo of the Szabo family. There we go. Calvin Szabo, that's his name. Got it. I remembered it. I'm so happy. Extremely happy photo. Rachel. I'm sorry, it's Erika.
Yeah.
Jazz hands.
And Rachel and Clio.
Hi.
Hi. So, another interesting episode that,
to be sure,
ended with a happy family moment.
Yes.
It
ended with.
I think it was Cal was being happy. Cal was happy. Everyone else, I don't think, was quite as happy.
Yeah, no, probably not as happy, but I mean, this is what Sky's dreamed of her entire life. Whether or not, I mean, her dad's crazy, yes, this is true, but she's having dinner with her parents, something
just a little bit,
she never thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
The show ended with a very happy Fitz being stuck in the bathroom.
A very happy Fitz.
It was amazing.
I love it. I'm loving Hunter more and more. You're getting to see a little more and more of his personality, and I'm loving it.
Yep.
Are you watching Mexican soccer? Mexican football? Yes.
Yeah.
I loved that little scene where he was just like, "Yeah, I've got a tail on me, but besides that, can I come crash with you guys to hang out?"
I know. Right?
Also, could you teach me how to lose a tail?
There is that. So
But no, that was funny.
that was a funny, goofy moment. And, I mean, we hadn't seen anything of Fitz all episode. Or Coulson, or Hunter, for that matter.
I knew they had a tail on him. I knew from last.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They had a tail on him. They have a tail on him. They're not just going to let him go free and willy. Here you go. Yeah, you're free. No one's going to bother you. Bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think anybody watching the show would be surprised, like, oh, Fitz had a tail on him.
But the fact that they let themselves be known that they...
Yeah, there is that. They're not a very good
They're
tail.
not very good tail.
No.
Well, I mean, Fitz is also very smart.
There
Yeah,
is that.
too.
Fitz
But
is very
still, it's just like, you would think that maybe you'd be a little more discreet.
You have to remember, these people aren't S.H.I.E.L.D. They're more military-esque than S.H.I.E.L.D., so they're not really trained.
They're not really spies.
Right.
So the episode was named Melinda, and it was named such for a very good reason. It was a big flashback episode. Back to pre-Avengers.
7 years ago? I think that's what it said.
Yeah, I think it was 7 years ago, so pre-Iron Man.
Yes,
Yeah, this is pre-MCU.
I was just going to say that because Coulson's whole spiel, he said out S.H.I.E.L.D. He didn't say I'm S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm Strategic Homeland Intervention Logistics Division.
Yes,
I was
he
like,
did. He said
They
the
were
whole
still
thing.
using the old name, yeah.
Yeah.
This is like pre-Avengers, them finding them and putting them together and everything. So I found that really interesting. I was like, sweet. So Bahrain happened before.
So Bahrain happened before, and what we've been asking
finally,
since season 1, what the hell was... I mean, we know what Bahrain is. It's a place. But the question was, what the hell happened there? It earned May her nickname. Apparently she saved a whole bunch of agents, and she took out enemy combatants.
It wrecked her.
And it makes sense why it wrecked her now.
Mm-hmm. Why she's so put off, why she's so distant.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
I wasn't either. Oh, no.
She goes after the Russian lady, who's like more than Captain America power, like strong physical strength, it would seem.
She's like Hulk strong and shit.
Yeah, and because the more pain she absorbs, and not her.
Well, it wasn't her, but
No,
we didn't know that. I mean,
no, that's what I thought too. I thought the more pain she absorbed, the stronger she becomes.
and that was the working theory, but turns out no, she was just freakishly strong. The kid was absorbing people's pain and enthralling them
And made her insane.
and killing them when she was done with them.
Well, like Sky's mom said, it made her insane. She wasn't ready,
Right.
and she didn't think she was ready at that time. And her mom, thinking it's her birthright and being crazy and shit,
Mm-hmm.
decided to take it upon herself, steal the crystals, and transform her daughter.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
We'll probably never know if she ever would have been ready, because the mom said there was a darkness in her, and that darkness could have lasted throughout her whole life, and then she probably never would have gotten.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, we don't know it. You know, if she would have grown up, maybe she would at some point would have been ready, but we don't know for sure because her mom took matters into her own hands, and
Yeah.
she could have been an asset, but instead,
Right. So, Melinda was... Agent May was goofy and funny and had a successful marriage and all that other good stuff.
she wanted kids.
She wanted kids. She had a
That
sense of
shocked
humor.
me. I was like, oh, what? She wanted what?
Well, I mean, we've known she has a sense of humor.
Well, she actually smiled.
Yes, exactly.
That was the scary part.
Smiling, laughing.
And, I mean, it makes...
Joking and
it all makes sense now.
She was very lighthearted and very jovial, and
Yeah. Amicable.
this just wrecked her.
Yeah.
I think the cross between her wanting to have a family and have kids and how this, and then conflicted with what she was supposed to do, and
She wound up having to shoot a 7-year-old, 9-year-old, something like that.
Right.
I think around that age, yeah.
It was more, probably like a 9, 10-year-old, and she wound up having to shoot the poor kid. Well, the crazy kid.
Yeah, she went nuts. She was too young to be able to control and to inhabit those powers. She was way too young.
Yeah, she had such an intense and inherently violent power.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And she had...
But she was just way too young.
She had a building full of, how would you put it? Thralls, zombie people.
Right.
Yeah, that's a
Minions?
little crazy. Minions. There we go. Is anybody else just? Kudos to the young actress who did this, because I was thoroughly creeped out by this little girl. I don't know if anybody else was.
I know, she was just like, touch my hand, all sweet, and then she got this look in her eye, and you're like, ooh.
It was like, touch my hand with that look.
It's
I
like,
was just
no.
like, you back the fuck up, demon girl. We are not going there.
I got taken back to the very ring-like Sumatra, and yeah, she's very creepy. And but yeah, I was now that we actually know what happened, we can understand why May is the way she is.
Yeah, she shut out her husband, refused to work in the field again, took a desk job, and obviously all the agents who were unconscious had no idea what happened. They just think she saved their ass and killed all those people in there to do so. Did Coulson know what happened?
No.
I'm pretty sure he knows.
He must know. He must have a large idea of what happened, but did she ever tell him all the details?
I feel like the little she was able to spit out by the truck was it. Like, I'm sure nothing else about that incident came out of her mouth ever again.
Well, I think Coulson knew more. I think she trusted Coulson enough to tell him that, because he knew, and she's like, well, don't talk. We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think he knew. I think those two are the only two that really knew what happened in Bahrain, and it's enough to traumatize anyone. It was horrible. Having to make that decision.
Yeah, pretty.
As a mom, that is, even as a person that wants kids, or a mom, that would just tug at you. It's like, say, either she goes on killing all these people, or
So
I kill her and save everyone.
Speaking of a mom, we had a nice mommy moment with Sky and Jia-Ying.
Finally.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, yeah, this guy calls it an avalanche. There's talking going on there, and then she just can't take it anymore. Like, I'm guessing the whole "I don't know when my birthday was" pushed her over the edge.
I think it was also the whole knowing that she went from foster home to foster home, and she never found a stable home. She never found someone to love her, and she was talking about, they, basically turned me out when I broke this crystal container, with the glasses and stuff like that. And I think it just stacked up, and she couldn't hold it in anymore. Mm-hmm. Now we know when she was born, and she's a year older than she thought she was.
She was born 2 weeks before me.
Well, looky there.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, she was a little disappointed that she was older than she thought she was.
Yeah, I found that hilarious.
She was like,
really?
She just instantly aged a year.
Yeah, that's true. That's how it feels.
And it instantly aged a year in a couple hours.
Yeah. And I mean, I personally really liked just the number 25. It was like a round
nice number.
It was a nice milestone number. To lose it in a set, you'd be like, I guess I'm not 25, I'm 26. That's weird.
I'm closer to 30 now.
That's
no.
weird. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like change.
Yeah, that's pretty much good right there. So we find out that the reason she never came out in the first place is because their people have rules, and technically Sky's mommy is in charge. Oh, right, we also got the answer that Cal pieced her back together.
I was like, Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Frankensteined her back together.
Well, he never really said. He said he found her body, but he never said what he did with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we speculated.
I mean, when she showed up, last episode. Did she show up last episode?
Yeah, the end of last episode.
When she showed up last episode with all the scars, I was just sort of like, oh, she did get sewn back together. My theory was half correct.
Yeah, I mean, we figured that she probably was able to regenerate herself, and she had to be put back together and stuff because she has that regeneration.
I just can't believe she regrew all of her organs.
It probably took a long time.
It's insane.
Well, the way they described it, he put her back together. Like, he took organs and put in her.
Well, I don't know that.
We don't really know. Yeah,
we don't know exactly how he put her
Well, we
back
don't
together.
know, but that's the way she kind of phrased it, was he put me back together. He,
I'm guessing
put the pieces back together.
Yeah, I'm guessing he sewed her back together and let the, whatever regenerative effects she has take over. But I mean, that was 26 years ago, or 20-something years ago, and she's still got scars and,
we don't
hasn't
know how long
fully
it took.
healed. Right. It could take another 26 years for her to fully heal.
Yeah, she might never, those scars might be forever.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Or for as long as she lives, however long that is.
So,
or the idea I had where they just took Whitehall's body and pulled her organs back out of it and stuck them back in her.
I don't. She said they've been looking for her for years, and Whitehall's only been dead for a couple weeks. So
yeah, it's not really
not really feasible. They've never kept up. They've always kept up the hope of finding her and looking for her. And she was trying to put a little candy-coated spin on it towards her father. He never gave up. He always looked and stuff like that.
And he never, he wasn't always a monster.
Yeah, she tried to, candy coat what he did and stuff. And it's like, you knew him one way, but now he's a totally different Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she describes the story like, your father had to go borrow a car from the neighbors who didn't speak English, and that was messy.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh God, what did he tear the neighbors in half?
We don't know.
And then he recounts the exact same story later, and I was just like, oh my, this is so cheesy, but I love it.
He's so out of touch with reality right now that it's scary, because when she said, I think she said it to him, she doesn't even know when her birthday is, so he can talk to her, so they can have dialogue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he was like, oh, I know that. And it's just like he had that look on his face.
Oh, I have the answer. I know it.
He had that look, that glassy-eyed look in his face, like he was still in a fantasy world. It's just he has no grasp on reality right now.
Well, think about this was his life's goal for 20-something years, and all of a sudden it's realized. His wife is sitting there across from him, and his daughter is sitting there, next to him at the table, and they're having a family dinner. His head must be, going in 17 different ways at the exact same time.
I think his head was already going in those directions, but
yeah.
He's not grounded, and whether or not we'll ever see him actually come to realization of things, I don't think so. I think he's too far gone. And when she basically said, if you do this for me and have dinner with your father, I'll get rid of him.
Right. You'll never have to see him again.
But what's she going to do with him? If he's not going to be there, he's not safe to be returned to society. What the hell is she going to do with him?
Have Gordon teleport him into the atmosphere?
I don't think she'll kill him.
No.
I don't think she'll kill him. Maybe he'll go to a hospital or something. But he's not safe just for her to let him go into society. Because he'll still freak out and want to get back with Sky and want to see her. But, so I'll have to see what happens.
Hey, who knows? Maybe that dinner can go so well that won't be an issue.
Yeah.
Sky's not going to forget.
No, she's not going to forgive or forget. But anyway, more Inhuman stuff here. We had Lincoln and... Gordon. I always have to think of his name. You have a cat fight going on.
I know, there's
so
cat fights.
Awesome.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, it's still going?
It still goes right there.
Ow!
They're going to start growling at each other. You got
Over the
Noelle. Yep. You got Noelle over here, who is about 2.5.
Oh, my...
And then we got Jinx over here, which they say he's a year old, but he's really, really small. We don't think he is. They simply growl on each other.
We now leave this tangent to come back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
We'll be interrupted, I'm pretty sure.
That's okay. Side entertainment. It's good. So Lincoln and Gordon are arguing over, I guess how to handle Raina.
Yeah,
Gordon, she is still ridiculously depressed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Gordon's just basically telling her, you gonna have a beautiful gift on the inside. He's trying
to make it all rainbows and
he was trying
unicorns and
he was trying to silver lining it for her.
Glitter and everything.
And he's like, look at me. Do you think I'm an easy sight in public?
He's probably more easy sight than she would be.
Okay, you're right. He's an easier sight than she would be, but still, this is a man with no eyes. Not, eyes ripped out of his skull, just no eyes whatsoever. His face is flat-ish on the area.
But he could put sunglasses on and normal.
You're right. He could put sunglasses on and look normal.
Yeah.
She most certainly can't.
She can't.
I think the thing that she has to see first is she has to see the beauty of herself. Forget about how the rest of the world will see her. She can't think of that right now.
Exactly.
She needs some meditation. She needs to zen out and find what's really going on inside her.
But what was Gordon doing to her? I thought he was plucking out her thorns or something. I mean, what the hell was he doing?
Acupuncture?
There was no needles, though. But
I don't know.
Was he cleaning her like a freaking monkey or something? What?
I don't know. Maybe he's just seeing how sharp the quills actually are or something.
I don't know, but it hurt her when she did it. So
yeah. Oh, maybe he did pull one out. Who knows?
Well, I mean, when she first came out of... When we first heard her talk about her karyogenesis, she said it hurts just to be, to have these. These just hurt.
Right.
It hurts her to walk, to do anything, because they rub.
Yeah. They rub and scratch and all that fun stuff. So, she describes... I mean, this was... crazy part of the episode for me. She describes this whole thing like she's been having nightmares. She's been seeing Sky all happy, and she's sitting at dinner with her dad, and there's a bouquet of daisies on the table. And then the end scene, I'm like, she's sitting for dinner with her dad, and there's a bouquet of daisies on the table. Tell me somebody else is going to notice this.
Yeah.
Then Lincoln...
I was like, dude, she can see into the future.
And then Lincoln sees it, and he's like,
holy shit.
Ding!
It wasn't a dream.
It wasn't a dream.
So, I mean, that's kind of a weird power for someone. I mean, for someone that looks like her to have. You would think it has something more to do with her spines or something, but
her quills can divine the future. They are attuned to the ways of the
universe. I don't know.
Yes.
She's like Samson. If you cut him off, she loses her power.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
That'd be really fucked up, though.
So, yeah, that would be really fucked up. So, not only does she have quills and crazy-looking eyeballs, she can somewhat divine the future in her sleep.
I think they're not necessarily quills. I think they're more like rose thorns. They're like thorns. Because when you look, when we looked at her closely, it looked like she had moss growing.
There is that.
It looked like she had moss growing.
I mean,
like, oh, okay.
It could also be that her power is something she can control in time. So maybe in the future, when she learns to control it, it won't just happen in her dreams.
And she'll be the actual
The
clairvoyant.
actual clairvoyant.
Yes.
Holy shit!
I was trying
back to first episode.
Yeah, I know, because we've been... How many episodes of last season were we theorizing about who this clairvoyant could be from Marvel, and was it an actual psychic? And then it turns out, no, it wasn't. It was just Bill fucking Paxton.
It was just made up. Yeah.
It was so sad. Had so much potential. But there, she'll actually be the clairvoyant now. So, aside from a pretty decent length episode, there really wasn't that much that happened.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it was pretty focused to what we've already discussed.
It was pretty much that missing puzzle piece. So we already had the puzzle. We just needed that one piece to put in there.
Yeah, that one.
And Bahrain was it. We already had pretty much the outline. It just gave us the definitive of what happened.
Right. And then I made a flashback, and I love how, you know, Sky's mom was telling her the story pretty much at the same time as we were seeing it from Melinda's point of view. You know, that the mother stole the crystals, kid went crazy, all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. And
like that.
I don't know, I'm getting this vibe. I mean, totally. I mean, it was so small, but I'm getting this vibe that if they want someone to talk and be manipulated, they send in Bobby.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm getting closer to not liking Bobby, because it's like, stop it.
I mean, that's her specialty, and it can be used for good, but she's blinded. Everyone who's working for the real S.H.I.E.L.D. is sort of blinded. They think that what they're doing is good, and maybe it is. Who knows? Maybe it is.
We don't know, but you know what? We got some reasoning, and the last thing that I almost forgot to mention is, what the hell is Theta Protocol?
We don't know.
Apparently, it's something nobody but Coulson knows about.
Right, Coulson's been sinking tons of money into a whole bunch of things, like secret. You know, he had Simmons working on capacitor technology or whatever, and no, it turns out she was making a better power source for Deathlock.
Well, what's funny is that the real S.H.I.E.L.D. is combining people that went out and got themselves genetically enhanced with the people that are naturally gifted. They're just going. Yeah. They're fusing them together when they're two totally separate, different entities. Yeah. And I right now, I'm getting the feeling that May is kind of playing along to see where they're going with it.
I think,
that's definitely.
Because May has no idea. Coulson's the only one who knows what the hell Theta Protocol was. I'm going to guess it's something that Fury started that
probably
was in the toolbox there.
I love this when you look it up on Reddit.
Oh, God.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. I'll just say that, because if it is, brilliant.
Yeah. Okay.
But okay, so what is the Theta Protocol? Koenig army. They multiply until the enemy is overwhelmed.
I love it. I love it. Oh. The clone, Theta Protocol is the
clone army of Koenig.
It's a clone. It's the Clone Wars. No.
I could just imagine an army as far as the eye could see, like the army of orcs marching from Isengard to Helm's Deep, 10,000 strong, except they're all Patton Oswalt, and they all chant.
Sir, there is no such force.
And they chant all, yes, sir, there is no such force, and they walk out onto the balcony and survey the army, and
Pug starts to cry.
They all raise their arms and go, "You don't have a lanyard." Imagine that echoing throughout the realm.
You need to land here.
Oh my gosh. That would be fantastic.
Who would be scared of a whole army of Patton Oswalds? I mean,
I would be too.
catch people. I don't think anyone would be scared of that. It would catch people off guard.
Yeah. So
It's like a whole herd of kittens. Who's going to be scared of that?
depends on the kittens. So, I mean, you kind of now see from other S.H.I.E.L.D., real S.H.I.E.L.D.'s point of view, if someone, Coulson's running this other splinter S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever in their eyes, there's nothing really to worry about. And then they see him doing all of this shady stuff, sinking tons of money into, technology and building a base that seems like he's going to, be using it to train powered people and all fun stuff like that. It's kind of fishy.
Well, like May said, if he's doing this, down basically on the down low, there's got to be a reason.
Well, yes, that ends.
And I don't think I don't think she's going to completely go on their side. I think she's going to just make them think she's on their side to get the information of what they know. I don't think she doesn't fully trust them.
Right.
Yeah.
At all.
So.
Yeah, clearly, because she goes to Simmons, like, to be like, yo, we're gonna figure this out, because she still trusts Coulson. They still trust Coulson.
Well, yeah, they still do. He's still a good guy.
There is a good reason he's keeping it from them.
There's a very good reason.
There is good
and we'll
reason.
find it out soon.
Yep.
Now,
oh yeah.
2 things to mention here. First off is the name of the next episode, The Frenemy of My Enemy. And the synopsis is, a dangerous new alliance is formed as Coulson and Hunter turn to the last person anyone would expect, Grant Ward. As the war between S.H.I.E.L.D. factions continues, Skye and Lincoln will find themselves drawn into this conflict. Ominous.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the little synopsis, the video. It had nothing to do with this.
No, it was just
all about Ultron.
Exactly. It was a, watch. It's not.
Watch the movie.
It's not the last episode before Ultron, is it?
No, it's not.
No,
but it's like,
2 episodes?
Age of Ultron is coming up. Mm-hmm. So watch S.H.I.E.L.D. and get ready for it.
I know, and I'm like, this is not what I wanted to see.
This tells me nothing about the next episode. Exactly. The synopsis, as crappy as it is, tells me more about the next episode.
Exactly.
Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. is known, like, you always complain about S.H.I.E.L.D.
I know. It drives me nuts.
Synopsis.
A member of the party is in trouble, and Coulson died.
Did you know, though?
A member of the party is in trouble. There's a secret that'll tear the whole team apart, and Coulson died.
That's my favorite one. A secret that will tear the whole team. That's my favorite one.
Okay. The other thing to mention is, you guys may have seen that for the premiere of Age of Ultron, they had the entire cast of the Avengers on Jimmy Kimmel.
The Family Feud thing was hilarious.
Yes, they played Family Feud. They talked about, shooting the movie and all kinds of fun tidbits, and they answered fan questions. And after a couple of actual fan questions, the third one is Clark Gregg asking, hey, have you guys ever considered maybe acting on the small screen, golden age of television and all? and all of them had the exact same response, more or less, and that is, you just have to ask.
Mm-hmm. If you don't ask, you don't get an answer.
We would all love to. Yes, sure, we would do it. All you got to do is ask. The only one who didn't say a thing was Jeremy Renner. He was just sitting there all silent and smiles like.
Oh, you think he's going to be on an episode?
Well, one, he was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Him and Black Widow were actual S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. The other 4 were not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just sitting there with a grin on, like.
Oh, he fucking knows something, that little shit.
Either that or he just wasn't commenting.
I don't know. He might know something.
But yes, if you haven't seen that, you could look it up online. There's some funny clips. Yeah.
They are a very funny group together. I was like, how do they even get work done together?
They are the funniest.
One thing I noticed is when they were asking, when the lady from Alaska was asking who's the biggest diva in the group, and before, you know, they all asked, who do you think it is? Because we want to hear what you think. If you look at Chris Hemsworth, he's sitting behind Robert Downey Jr. like doing all kinds of diva maneuvers, like with just like pursed lips, like I can't be bothered to answer this question.
Yeah, I know. When I heard that, I'm like, it's definitely Robert Downey Jr. And if it's not, it's Chris Hemsworth. Like,
yeah,
there's no question.
There is no question.
I think their divaness is more of like that silly divaness kind of thing.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can, and then Lord knows what goes on with Scarlett being the only female in the group.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she pulls her share of jokes on that.
Yes, I would assume that it is to the utmost caliber. But to answer your question, how they get work done, they have really good assistant directors. That's the only answer to that.
Yes.
Like, they must have amazing.
How many takes do they have to do? How many takes?
They have a series of PAs. 2 PAs per actor. Their only job is to just corral them and keep them, you know, keep them moving forward.
I'd love to see like outtakes from the movies that they're that'd be fucking hilarious.
Yep.
They need to just put together, like, maybe they'll do it in like when they do a box set of Avengers. Who knows?
They have to, because those outtakes would be priceless.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, that's, I believe, our show. Did we miss anything pertinent? Like glaring, staring us in the face?
I mean, most of it was all about Bahrain, which really just points to... Oh, well, I don't think we mentioned that Coulson's been meeting with...
Oh, right. He's been meeting with May's ex-husband, Andrew.
Which I'm very glad, because that means that he'll be in the show more.
I like that character. He was good.
I don't know if I've been saying it on any of these podcasts, but like in my head while I'm watching shows like this, I'm like, they really need a therapist. They need an in-house therapist.
Yes, they do. They really do.
But then it all brings up the whole one minority per, which kind of sucks ass. We saw that happen.
Hey, maybe they'll break the mold.
Maybe. Hopefully, let's please break the mold, because it's a archaic stereotype and thing for TV. They need to just stop it.
They had the mold broken for a few episodes.
But I told you that's what's going to happen, because from all the time from little kid watching TV, that was the thing. It was like
you have the token black guy.
You have the token black guy, and then you can only have like one other minority, one Asian, or one gay guy or lesbian. You can only have one of these, one of those, and it's like, it's ridiculous.
Yep. So, anyway, that's our show. We already covered what next episode is going to be. Yeah. Good stuff. Clio, where can they find you?
They can find me on Cliomoto on the socials, and they can find me on Twitch at the Cliomoto. Cliomoto.
Okay. Dom, if you want to mention that Coulson died on show, you actually have to join us for one of these. Rachel, where can they find you?
They can find me
That wasn't it. Keep talking.
Savannah17 on the Twitters. Right there.
Wrong color!
That's it. He's colorblind. He doesn't know.
Erika, where can they find you?
On Twitch and Twitter and everywhere else at Erika Rain 7.
Am I the only one that has 2 different colors?
I do too, but they're 2 different usernames also.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why the color changed. It was so crazy. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Philidrin. You can find all of us on Facebook, Gmail, Google+, Twitter, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us at those places for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bobby.
I'm starting to not like her.
Coulson died.
Coulson died.